Hello, everyone. I think I'm already live and I am right on time. It's 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock actually in Tenerife right now. And I'm gonna check if everything is correct, if I am definitely live and if I can, if I'm available in the group. So if you're watching this, put a hashtag team live or hashtag team replay in the group. Always nice to know that people are watching, and I love it even more if you're engaging with this training. Normally I try to be on time like a few minutes earlier, so then everybody has the time to find this video, but I had some technical issues, so I was right on time. So I'm gonna talk for like two minutes or so, and then we get started. Yeah, let me check if everything is live and going well. And in the meanwhile, if you are already watching, if you're already live now with me, let me know where you're watching from. Always nice to know, and what time it is where you are located. And also nice to know if you can hear me, but if you answer the question, of course, I know that you can hear me. And yeah, so we have 1 more minute or so to go. I haven't found the live yet, so still checking if everything is going okay. It's because the Facebook app, I checked this on my phone to see if everything is live, and the Facebook app is right now updating. Great time. So yeah, I'll be in soon. And today we're going to talk about if you're demotivated or procrastinating, how you can get your fire back, how you can get to a place where you feel motivated again and you take action. Okay, and let me see. The app is updated, so let me see if I'm here. Yes, I am live. And I don't see anybody on yet. So if you are watching and if you are live with me, please let me know. Also, let me know if the sound is working. And yeah, like I said, if you're live, hashtag team live. If you watch the replay, hashtag team replay. I love engagement on the trainings, even if you are watching the replay. And it's also the way to get the most out of this training, to really act live, like this is a live training for you. So if you are watching the replay at a later time, also please just respond to every question I ask. I also go over the comments afterwards. So I will reply and get back to you. Also, if you want the notes on this training, then drop a hashtag PDF in the comments, because then I can share the screen that you see right now, the document that's here. I'll share it with you. Might be nice to go over it again after the training. And also you can book a 45-minute clarity call with me by either clicking on the link if you have this PDF, or with dropping hashtag clarity in the comments, and then I'll send my link to you. A clarity call means that we're going to look into your business and see if I can help you. And what I help people with is help them find pleasure in selling. So if you feel like you could use some help with that, or maybe if you feel like I could be a good fit for you after this training, just drop a hashtag clarity in the comments and I'll reach out to you. I have another question, and the question is, what has been most dominant for you lately, motivation or demotivation? And there's a small delay also in comments, in me receiving comments. So drop a hashtag no, you don't have to do a hashtag. Drop a motivation or demotivation, just to show me where your head's at or what your face is in right now. And let me see if people are already watching, if there are some comments. I know sometimes Facebook doesn't update it, so then I don't see anything, but it's much nicer to talk to people than just to myself. It's not updating. And I know I should have taken care of this before, because then I could focus on us being on this call and on this training. But I figured out when I started that I deinstalled the Facebook app on my phone, because I do that sometimes just to focus while I work or not be distracted by it. And that means that right now I didn't have it on my phone and I couldn't check the comments. So yeah, that means that right now I didn't have it on my phone and I couldn't check the comments. Okay, I can hear myself. Okay. And I see nobody's here yet, and that makes me a bit sad. So I hope people come on soon. But I'll start anyway with talking. And if you are here, let me know. So the outline for today is my big breakthrough on what motivates me and what motivates us being an entrepreneur. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to talk about pleasure in selling, the big shift I'm making right now. And that also really fits into being motivated. And then I'm going to give some practical tips how you can take action now. And this is only a short-term solution, but I think it's still nice to have these tools to kind of play around with. So yeah, if you watch the replay, because I think nobody's here right now, drop in the comments which one of the three triggers you the most of the outline. Like if you are motivated to hear my breakthrough about this, or if you're excited to learn what pleasure in selling actually means, or that you just want short-term solutions. So 1, 2, or 3. What motivates us? So what motivates us? That is like, when I think about this, I used to always think about what motivates clients or people or my audience to take the next step, to take action. And in marketing and in sales, it's very common or very, very well known that people move or take action or make decisions because they want to solve a problem. And maybe you've heard about this, maybe not, but what does it mean to solve a problem? It means that they want to fix something that is causing them pain or pleasure. And those are the two things that make people move. And this was for me super clear because I've been in the marketing and in sales space for 3 years in my own business, but also before that, I'm very passionate about marketing. I've read a lot about this. I did a master degree on marketing. I'm very well familiar with how it works in marketing. And then 2 weeks ago, I had a big breakthrough because I was thinking about what motivates me and what gets me to take action. And actually, I am no different than any of the people in my audience, or than you, or than any other entrepreneur. So for me, it started to make sense that the solving a problem, is also my reason for motivation and to know where I'm heading towards. So let me know if you are familiar with this concept of solving a problem. And then also, are you in pain or pleasure right now? No, that's not the right question to ask. No, the right questions to ask to kind of figure out what's going on is, are you in pain or are you still in pain? And do you have a desire, or what brings you pleasure? And how clear is your desire or vision? Because if you are not clear on what brings you pleasure or what gives you pain, or what is your vision or what is your future goal, then you have lack of clarity. And that means that you don't know what actually motivates you. And if you don't know what motivates you, it's going to be hard to be motivated. So that's why you need clarity around this topic about what gives you pain and what gives you pleasure. So this is kind of my breakthrough that I had, or this is my breakthrough that I had, that I am no different than anybody else. What motivates me or demotivates me is, what motivates me is being clear on what my pain is, feeling the pain, but also knowing what the pleasure is that that I want to have, that I'm reaching towards. And the hack that I found when I was thinking of this 2 weeks ago is I think it's easily solvable. Like for me, it makes sense to not focus on the pain anymore, because when I started to become an entrepreneur, there was a lot of pain. There were a lot of wants, a lot of things that I didn't want. I didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job. I didn't want to work for my current manager because he was not treating me very well. I definitely didn't want to return to that company after they put me in a burnout, because that's how I felt at the time. So there was a lot of pain to start a business. And then I started the business. It went really well. And then at some point, the pain disappeared because I had a good business already. I had something going on for me and it was nice and it went well. But I wasn't that motivated anymore as I was before. So what I learned is that you should be very clear on your pleasure and on your pain. But at some point, when you're an entrepreneur and when you reach a certain level, the pain is gone. You're not motivated anymore by the 9-to-5 job that you wanted to leave, because you already left it and you feel safe about that. And you have maybe the income you have is not consistent, but you have a good income and you don't have to worry about 9-to-5 jobs that you need to apply for. So what I then figured is, how clear am I still on my vision and not my pleasure, and what I want to achieve with my business? What is the next goal? Can I still clarify that? Is it clear for me where I want to go? And then 2 weeks ago, what I figured it wasn't that clear anymore. And also I figured a solution for that, because I found a coach that has a mastermind that I'm now enrolled in. And her vision and what she can help me with are very aligned with me. So a hack to kind of find your drive back and your motivation is to find a coach that helps you with your vision. So you might need to put some time in to be clear on that vision, or you need to find a coach that can help you with that. And then you have 80% of pleasure, because you're working towards your dream, your future, something super nice, but also you still paid for it. So there is a small amount of pain, because paying money does that to us and it feels like pain. So that's really short on what motivates us. I'm gonna check if people are watching right now, because that would be fun. And if you feel this, or if you already understood this, let me know in the comments. And if you, I can't see any comments, but this was also something that happened to me last time. So maybe it's just me. I'm gonna double check for a moment. No, no, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna continue, and hopefully next time it will go better. Just here to provide value for you guys. So the pleasure in selling, I'm just gonna put it here. Pleasure in selling is the new name also of the community that you're in. It was first the 6-figure secrets, and now it's authentic coaches and experts find pleasure in selling. And this is the big shift I'm making. And I want to explain it very briefly to you, because maybe after my story about pleasure and pain, it already makes more sense. But pleasure in selling is something different than most coaches and most marketeers do at this moment. So you have the sell or die method. Maybe you know it, maybe not, but how I explain it is like what most people are doing out there. You have to sell something or it goes really bad and we're all going to die. So you're talking to your leads, to your potential clients, and you're putting a lot of pressure, a lot of pain. And basically, if they don't buy from you, something really terrible is going to happen, which is based on 80% pain and 20% pleasure. Then the method that I used in my previous business, that I vote for now, that I vote for at any time, because I think it's a much, much better way to go with sales and marketing, is serving is selling. And serving is selling means that you're selling because you're serving your ideal client. You're solving a problem. You're really helping them. You're there for them. And that doesn't have a lot to do with scaring people, because that's the first method. So the serving is selling, and the method that I want to teach you guys in my pleasure in selling program and also in this community is based on only 20% pain and 80%, oh, this is wrong, 80% pleasure. So we're gonna use much more techniques that make people feel good and that make you feel good, and that are about the future and the potential and that next level. And of course, it's always good to be aware of where you're coming from and of the path that you've already walked or the things that you're definitely not into anymore. But there's a big difference between 20% pain and 80% pleasure and the sell or die method. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I wanted to shortly explain and also show you a little bit more insights on why I changed the name. And at this point, I am looking for 5 coaches or experts. And with that, I mean coaches or people who have skills, feel like an expert, want to share it, and want to set up a coaching business, or experts that do done for you services. But yeah, I work mostly with only coaches. Um, who want to find pleasure in selling high ticket offers. And with high ticket, I mean 2.5K or more, by finding a consistent sales process that works for you and that feels good for you. And yeah, that's what pleasure in selling is all about for me, that it makes sense for you and what you're doing. So if you want more information on this, you can drop #clarity to book your clarity call in the comments, and I'll reach out to you. That was really short about the selling in pleasure in selling. And I promised you some points also on how to take action now. And that's short-term motivation. So be aware of that. If you only use these techniques, so like productivity hacks and how to get started, stuff like that, it is very powerful and it can be very powerful. But if you are not driven by pleasure or pain, then you're gonna miss the big motivation, the big reason why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, I'm going to share these with you and let me know if you like them or if you're already using them. The first one is make decisions fast. It doesn't mean that you can change your mind. So if you make a decision, you can always come back to it. It just means that you're taking action. And taking action means that you are doing things. And that's super important. So clarity comes by taking action. Because if you are still in your head and thinking about things and being very theoretical about it, you're going to get stuck in the loop in your head and you're not going to do anything. And when you take action, you can see what works, what doesn't work. You can alter it, you can change it, you can go back on your decision. So just make a decision fast and take action. That's the first one. The second one, maybe you know this, the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins. And in this doc, if you want the doc, put #PDF in the comments. And then you also get the link to the TED Talk, but you can also just type in 5-second rule from Mel Robbins. Basically, what she says is if you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. So if you want to do something, you have the first 5 seconds to act on it. And after that, your brain and the rationality and just talking yourself out of it because it's not comfortable or because it's new or different or whatever reason your mind comes up with, it kicks in after 5 seconds. So yeah, the 5-second rule. Super good to be aware of. And you can use it also with fast decision making. The 5x5 rule. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes thinking about it. Because if you start going down that rabbit hole, you're losing a lot of energy on something that doesn't really matter that much. And when I learned this rule, it really changed a lot for me because I started to be more aware of my thoughts, but also I started to change them because I knew, okay, does this really matter in 5 years? Probably not. And I also want to give you some examples to make it more like clear what I mean with this. And this is quite a personal example because when I learned this rule, I worked in a company and I changed. I was biking there every morning and I was changing my winter jacket, and it was like in the Netherlands, the season in between cold and hot and cold and hot. And when you bike and you are in a rush and then you get sweaty, and then after 2 weeks of me wearing my winter jacket again, a colleague told me, I need to tell you something. You kind of smell sometimes. And yeah, that really hurt my feelings, but also it was really nice of that person to share that with me so I could do something about it. But also I noticed that my thoughts were paying so much attention to this comment, and I already changed it. I already made sure that I had deodorant at work and I fixed it and whatever you can do to solve that problem. But I was paying so much attention to it that it was kind of demotivating me to do other stuff. And then I learned this one. I was like, okay, well, no, this definitely doesn't matter in 5 years from now. So yeah, So maybe you can relate, and you can already think of what you are thinking about this week and what was stuck in your mind, and you can just let it go by knowing it's not that important. Number 4, stop being a perfectionist. Done is better than perfect mindset. So this means like if you are a perfectionist, I consider myself a recovered perfectionist, but if you consider yourself a perfectionist at this point, also change your mindset about it and don't call yourself a perfectionist anymore, because it's doing more harm than good probably. Of course, it's still good to pay attention to details, to be mindful about things, but literally being a perfectionist, nothing is perfect. So you're working towards a goal that doesn't exist. So with the done is better than perfect mindset, it goes, your energy and whatever you do goes more into action oriented goals. So you are doing things, and that's the most important thing. If you have a draft that's finished, you can just let somebody check it and finalize it later, instead of just going over and over and making it better and better. Perfectionism is also something that comes from, if I don't do it, I can't fail. So if you're not taking action on purpose, it could also come from that side of the perfectionism, that you don't want to do it because, well, if you haven't done it and if you haven't put 100% behind it and haven't showed it to anybody, you can't really fail. So if that's you, be aware that that's also a form of perfectionism, and just take action. And then there's also the Pomodoro technique, which means that you work for 25 minutes, you put a timer, and after that you stop. And so you track your time better, and it also gives you a chance to stop, even when you're only 80% done. Then there's an accountability system. This is the last tip of the 5 tips. And accountability, yeah, it's just what it is. Just people keeping you accounted. And you can either do that by working with a coach or working with a buddy. But the most important thing is that you make sure that you're on the same level. And I've worked with both. I've worked with coaches, with masterminds, with buddies. What I noticed from buddies is that the best way to work with a buddy is if you are really on the same path. So you should at least be in the same coaching program, so you know what kind of value you have and what kind of common knowledge you bring to the table. So yeah, and then working with a coach, of course, is a different level of accountability, because you invested, and that's what I said in the beginning as well, you invested money, so there is a little bit of pain, but also you work towards a goal you really want to achieve, because that's why you say yes to a coach, because you are clear on the next transformation that you want. At least if you have a good coach, you work with transformations, because that's I think the only way to go. I think one-on-one for an hour or so is not going to bring you that far, but that's a different story for a different talk. So yeah, that's the training. Thanks for watching the training. And I have to change the name here again. If you are watching this and you want to talk about the next step, or want to get clear on your vision, or want to see what I can do for you with the Pleasure in Selling program, reach out to me on Messenger, or you can book a 45-minute clarity call. And just to sum everything up, if you are watching this, put a hashtag team live if you haven't yet, or a hashtag team replay. I love engagement. I hope there was something wrong with my comments, just like last time, and I really need a way to fix this. So if you have tips on that, let me know as well. But even if you watch the replay, just reply to all the questions that I asked while I was talking. And if you want the notes, drop a hashtag PDF in the comments and I'll send this one over. And of course, the clarity call. I would love to talk to you if you feel like we could be a fit and if you really want to bring pleasure into your selling game. Okay, thanks for being here and I wish you a lovely day.